NoodleDome.com.
What's up, fight fans? My name is Josh Osborne.
Matt McCarty.
And this is our UFC 89 predictions. All right, guys, the UFC is heading back to England. We got UFC 89. We're not going with all the cards tonight because they're just a few fights that we don't really care that much about. But we're sticking with the 5 main ones. And first up, we got Paul Kelly versus Marcus Davis. Matt, what are you thinking?
I think it's a pretty good fight. Both guys have a pretty distinct advantage in their own aspects of the fight. Paul Kelly, obviously, is going to have a big advantage on the ground.
Yeah.
Marcus Davis is going to have a big advantage in the stand-up. What it comes down to, though, for me in this fight is Paul Kelly going to be able to get on top of Davis and keep him down. In doing so, he's going to be able to avoid damage. We don't know. What I think is going to happen is Marcus Davis is going to knock Paul Kelly out.
That's your prediction?
That's my prediction right there.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that one. Paul Kelly's got the ground and pound, so Marcus Davis is obviously going to try to keep it standing. Plus, he comes from the boxing background anyway, so he's going to want to strike. But I predict a lot of exchanges between these guys.
Yeah.
A lot. Possible fight of the night candidate, maybe.
Could be.
Both these guys are pretty feisty.
Ballsy fighters.
Yeah. Marcus Davis, though, he's got the better chin. So I think even if they're both getting punched evenly, Davis can be able to weather the storm a little bit better. So I'm giving the win to him via technical knockout.
All right, guys. Coming up next, we got Paul Taylor versus Chris Lights Out Lytle. Josh.
Yeah, Paul Taylor, good striker, really good cardio. Chris Lytle, very well-rounded fighter in my opinion. He'll submit your butt on the ground or he'll knock you out. That's the name, Lights Out. His last fight was against Koscheck, and Koscheck, coming from the wrestling background, was able to kind of take him down at will, rain down the elbows, and cut him open and win the fight that way. I don't see that threat from Paul Taylor. He's definitely the stand-up guy. He's going to be looking to just throw the bombs. Doesn't really have that heavy hands, in my opinion, so I think Lytle can definitely hang with him. Probably tire him out in the striking game and then take him down, submit him. So that's the way I'm going. I'm taking Chris Lytle via submission.
Yeah. Taylor definitely has those quick strikes, but yeah, doesn't really have heavy hands. Lytle has really heavy hands.
He does.
If he hits you, he can knock you out. But yeah, pretty much Lytle can win this fight wherever he wants to. It's, the fight I really think is up to him to lose. But he's not gonna. It's gonna be Lytle. Submission.
Nice. All right, guys, next up we got Sokoudjou versus Luiz Kane. Matt, who's got the ground advantage on this one?
I think Kane definitely has a ground advantage, but all fights start on their feet. Are you going to be able to take your opponent down and do whatever damage you want to do on the ground? I don't think that's going to happen. I think, Sokoudjou's a stronger fighter. I think he's pretty smart, knows to stay on his feet. But yeah, if Kane can get him down, he definitely can win the fight, but I'm definitely going with Sokoudjou. Knockout.
Nice. Yeah, Sokoudjou, awesome in the clinch. If Luiz is going to finish this one, he's going to have to go for a quick takedown. Don't get in the clinch because Sokoudjou likes to throw those uppercuts.
Yeah.
Watch some of his Pride fights with some pretty amazing knockout punches. So I'm going to agree with you on that one, taking Sokoudjou via knockout.
All right, guys, coming up next, we got Keith Jardine versus Brandon Vera. I think it's going to be a really great fight. I'm going to give this one to Josh, though.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely going to be a good fight. You got Brandon Vera coming off the win to Reese Andy in a snooze fest.
Yeah, it's pretty boring.
Not to knock either fighter, but that was pretty pathetic.
Yeah.
I was hoping for more on that one. Then you got Jardine coming off the loss, a brutal loss to Vanderlei Silva.
Yeah.
It's amazing, like within a second, like rigor mortis kicked
Yeah.
Oh, felt really bad for the guy. Glad to see he's got that fire back. He's in, ready to prove a point that he belongs in light heavyweight. Hopefully give it a title run, see what happens in that crazy division right now.
Yeah.
In order for Jardine to win, in my opinion, I think he's going to have to utilize the leg kicks like he did against Lytle.
Yeah.
And as far as Brandon Vera, I just haven't been real impressed with the guy lately. He just lacks that intensity and killer instinct that he used to have.
Yeah.
And he's playing it too safe. I think he just needs to throw balls to the wall, go at it, give everything he's got. And I think he'd come out on top if he does that, but this one is so evenly matched. I'm actually going to save my prediction. Matt, tell me what you think. Let's see if you can sway me one way or the other.
Okay, yeah, both fighters, really great fighters. Both got a good stand-up. Big advantage to to Vera in the chin department, though. I think if they start trading punches, if they're giving an even exchange out there, Jardine's going to go out first. But I think that's where Jardine has the best advantage. I really think he should brawl in this fight. Vera likes to kind of stand back, pick his shots, throw something really hard out there. He really likes to think about his strikes. I mean, if Jardine can get in there, throw him off his game, make him, try to think on his feet, I think Jardine can really come out with a knockout. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think Vera has the clinch advantage. He's got some great knees. I think throwing straight strikes from Vera is really going to win him the fight. I think he's just going to be able to put a straight right down the pipe and knock Jardine out.
Taking a knockout over Jardine, okay? Yep. Okay, I agree with you there. Definitely a knockout by one of these guys. Who's going to do the knocking out? I don't know. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm bringing out the magic quarter of doom, and it's going to decide the fate for me. Ready? I'm going to say heads for Jardine, tails for Vera. Are you ready?
Toss up.
Literally. Jardine by knockout. All right, guys, it's time for the main event. And, of course, this is in England, so it's going to feature Michael Bisping.
Of course.
Against a guy that I really like, Chris Leben. Nut hugger alert. Nut hugger alert. You know that was coming. You know it's coming. I like Leben a lot. Bisping I like, too. I'm not a huge fan. I think he's a pretty well-rounded fighter. I think he deserves a couple extra losses on his record than what actually shows. The fight against Hamill, in my opinion, was an atrocity.
Ridiculous.
Definitely should have lost the decision on that. But he didn't. He's back. He's fighting Chris Leben. Let's talk game plans here. Chris Leben. Heavy hands, really good chin. You know he's going to come out swinging. He's got a great chin. If you want proof, just check out his fight against Anderson Silva. Yes, he lost in the first minute, but how many times did he get punched in the face before he went down?
Less than 10.
Less than 10.
But more than 7.
Okay, 8?
9?
10?
I don't know.
It was a lot, and he stood for a while, and then he went down. How many guys can say they fought Anderson Silva, got punched in the face that many times before they went down?
Nobody.
James Irvin, one punch in the
punch.
face, he was down. So the chin right there speaks volumes. So yeah, he's going to be wanting to strike. I think if he's going to win, it's going to be via knockout. Bisping's game plan, I think he's got to keep the distance. He's got to watch out, stay out of range, maybe come in for some quick combos, try to score some points with the judges, and go for some takedowns. Whether he's doing any damage down there or not, just run out the clock, almost like this is football or something.
Yeah.
But I think that'll score more points for Bisping than it will for Leben. But on this one, it's a really tough call. I think either one of these guys can win it. I wouldn't be surprised if it went either way. But the first time I heard about this fight, my gut said Bisping, just because I think he's a little bit more well-rounded, and he has more tools in the toolbox, so to speak. So, Matt, what are you thinking on this?
Chris has a pretty good all-around game, but he definitely has huge strengths in the brawling and chin department. His ground game's okay. You don't see a whole lot of it. I think one thing Bisping definitely needs to do is change levels. He needs to come in there, throw a couple strikes, get Leben thinking he's going to stand with him, and then go for the takedown. I think like you said, keeping it on the ground, waste some time, score some points is definitely in Bisping's advantage. If Bisping is going to finish the fight, it's going to be in the later rounds. Leben doesn't have the greatest cardio ever by any means. He's got really
improved, though.
It's improved.
Terry Martin, he definitely showed that he was able to pace himself.
Yeah.
He came out swinging just slightly, but not like the bombs he's used to throwing in his fight.
He's definitely more calm.
Yeah.
He keeps it cool and collected. He definitely thinks about his fights more instead of just going out there and throwing. I'm giving this one to Leben.
Nice.
Knockout.
All right, guys, that wraps it up for UFC 89. Before we finish up the video, though, it's a very proud day for Matt and I. We're taking this very serious. We decided to go out and have some photos done for advertising, promotion, stuff like that. And because we love you guys, the loyal audience, so much, we decided to give you the first peek. So here it is. I like it. I like it a lot. I think it really makes me look slim.
Yeah. Makes me look really fat.
Nah.
No?
Nah, it's much better than our last photo. Remember the other one? That one
yeah.
sucked. Check this one out. Guys, as always, this is just our opinion. If you don't agree with it, that's cool. Put in your predictions. When everything's said and done, the righteous will remain supreme in the end. So put it before the fight. That way, if you were right, you get the kudos for it, just like we do. Yeah. But guys, that is it for us. We'll catch you at UFC 90 coming up with Patrick Cote versus a little guy named Anderson Silva. But guys, that is it for us. We will catch you on the flip side. Later.